Hello friends, we are happy to welcome you all to your own special weekly bulletin. Hello my little young sailors, I'm Bindia and I welcome you all to your own values bulletin of the week. Have you ever been on a big ship? Well, it's certainly very different than boating on holidays. Big ships are like floating hotels, factories, warehouses, amusement parks, generating their own power, making their own food. Let's take a quick look at the biggest ships in the world to have an idea of the scale.
Hi, I am Tejas. Among the largest container ships in the world is a ship called Ever Given, operated by Evergreen Marine Company. The ship weighs almost 220,000 tons. That's almost 50,000 full-grown elephants. We will come back to this monster and the havoc it wreaked in a minute. The world's largest cruise ship or cruise liner, called Symphony of the Seas, is approximately 1,200 feet long, has 22 restaurants, 24 swimming pools, can host a total of approximately 9,000 people, and has the tallest water slide at sea. The largest container ships like Ever Given are 400 meter or almost 1,300 feet long. And if these were converted to a building, here is a comparison with Qutub Minar and Statue of Unity, currently the tallest statue in the world. Coming back to Ever Given, the ship got stuck in the Suez Canal on March 23, 2021, blocking this most critical passage or sea route in international trade and shaking the entire global economy. In this video, we shall also talk about how this ship has been refloated and the traffic is resumed now on the canal.
Suez Canal? I think I have heard of it, but I don't really know much about it.
Let us turn to our expert Sonali ma'am to learn more about the Suez Canal and its importance in international trade.
Welcome aboard my young sailors. Good to see you again. From the time you sailed a paper boat in a puddle or put on an eye patch to become a pirate or seen a smart young Navy officer in his or her all whites, sea and sea travel has always fascinated us. To understand the importance of Suez Canal, first, it's important to learn a bit about international trade. International trade is the exchange of goods and services between countries across continents. Let's take an example and visit the warm and jovial Smith family living in Toronto, Canada. Now both Mr. and Mrs. Smith have lived in England and love to have a nice hot cup of tea every morning on their porch. But tea cultivation requires heavy rainfall, high humidity and warm temperatures. Not exactly the weather in Canada, which can be dry and quite chilly. So how can Mr. and Mrs. Smith get a hot cup of their favorite chai? Well, the answer lies in international trade. Tea producers like China, India and Sri Lanka, with favorable climate for tea cultivation, produce enough to export to Canada and other countries and finally reach the kitchen of the Smiths. Have a look at this map which shows the top export product of each country around the world. So how do you think these countries exchange these export and import products from each other? Around 80% of global trade by volume and 70% of trade by value is carried via sea route and handled by ports worldwide. The seas and oceans have been the waterways that have facilitated trade between countries and civilization for thousands of years. The sea routes have played a pivotal role in trade, exploration of new lands, and in shaping of human history. New lands like India, America, Australia, South America were discovered by brave explorers who set off on adventurous sea voyages over 500 years ago. Vasco da Gama discovered India and was the first to link Europe and Asia via sea route. Christopher Columbus also set out to discover India and ended up discovering America. James Cook is responsible for colonization of Australia. Colonization historically refers to mostly European countries having foreign control over these new lands. The colonial era laid the foundation of a part of human history that we are not too proud of: slavery, subjugation of ethnic people, robbing of resources, to name a few. East India Company started as a trading company, robbing India of its riches for 100 years via sea route, before British directly ruled and robbed India for another almost 100 years before independence from colonial rule in 1947. The major oceans of the world are Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, and Arctic Ocean. Yes, Indian Ocean is the only major ocean in the world named after a country, and it's been called that since over 500 years. Such was the importance of India in global trade since ages. In our present day, imagine Great Britain has to export cars to India. Captain Jones loads his container ship with loads of cars from the port of Felixstowe and sets off for India. As he reaches Strait of Gibraltar, which is a kind of a ship entry point into Mediterranean Sea, he wonders whether to go into Mediterranean Sea through the Suez Canal and short voyage there on to India, or take the long route around African continent before he can reach Mumbai port and have his favorite chicken tikka masala. Let us roll back 150 years. The great-grandfather of Captain Jones, a sea captain himself on a similar voyage to India, did not have this choice. He always had to go around the southern tip of Africa, round the Cape of Good Hope, adding weeks to the already long voyage, finally reaching India very tired. But all that changed in 1869 with the opening of the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal is a man-made canal built on the northern tip of Egypt. It's a short canal around 200 kilometers long, which connected the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea, which opens up into the Arabian Sea and the Indian Ocean. This Suez Canal reduces the journey distance of a potential voyage by 9,000 kilometers, saving around 9 to 10 days of shipping time. So young Captain Jones can merrily enter Mediterranean Sea and take the Suez Canal route to arrive at Mumbai port in time to enjoy his favorite curry as his crew unloads the shipment of cars. The Suez Canal took 10 years to build, with construction completing in 1869, and after a canal expansion project in 2016, it can now handle 97 ships per day, all traveling in a single line, one after the other. The maximum boat beam or width of the ship can be 77.5 meters, and maximum draft or vertical distance between waterline and bottom of the ship can be 20 meters. But mind you, sailing through Suez Canal is not cheap. It can cost a vessel up to $500,000 per voyage to sail through the canal. The channel is actually quite narrow when compared to huge wide oceans, and that is why an expert sea pilot from the Suez Canal Authority joins the ship captain to help him navigate the canal safely. Recently, on 23rd March 2021, Ever Given, a huge container ship, got stuck in the narrow channel. That day there was a huge sandstorm with strong winds of 75 kilometers per hour. The blockage resulted in about 400 ships getting blocked on their journey waiting for the stuck ship to be freed. This is the longest traffic jam of ships ever. The refloating operation included using other powerful boats called tugboats to pull the ship and reducing the weight of the ship by removing containers. Big boats called dredgers were used to cut and remove soil from the seabed, and land excavators were used to try and free the ship. The ships also have ballast tanks filled with water which can be pumped in and out to reduce or increase the draft of the ship, and these can be emptied out to reduce the weight of the ship. The international nature of global trade can also be judged by the fact that this stuck ship Ever Given is owned by Japanese, operated by a Taiwanese company, Evergreen Marine, registered in Panama, managed by Germany, and run by an entirely Indian crew, taking cargo from Malaysia to Netherlands. As with any global incident, people do manage to see the funny sides, as can be seen in these memes. Even kids had a view on how to get the stuck ship out.
Do you see that boat stuck right there?
Yeah.
Now tell me, how would you get that boat out?
With Godzilla. Use a tow truck.
A tow truck?
They could use more than 20 helicopters, and they'd attach a rope or a chain to the boat, pulling the boat out of the canal. I think they should dig around it. The boat could jump out. I think they'll need a screwdriver to get down with a ladder.
Well, jokes and memes aside, this blockage of the channel is costing over $9.6 billion of losses every day. This alone tells us how globally connected shipping industry really is. The other main shipping canal in the world is the Panama Canal, which connects the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean and reduces the sea voyage distance by 15,000 kilometers, or almost 20 days of sailing time, around South America and southernmost point of Cape Horn. Both Suez and Panama Canals are among greatest achievements of engineering in the world.
Thank you, Sonali ma'am. Wow, sometimes we don't realize just how interconnected we are. Let me share with you two interesting facts about international trade and shipping industry. Between 2,000 to 10,000 shipping containers are lost in the high seas every year after falling off ships carrying them. One of the largest ships, like Ever Given, can store 18,000 containers, which can carry almost 750 million bananas. That is one banana for each European, with still some left over. And with that, it's a wrap on this bulletin. Stay curious and be kind. Till we meet next week, goodbye.